Every single day, over 100,000 airplanes take off into the skies. People book tickets on their phones, grab coffee, and just like that, cross continents in hours. Packages from New York arrive in Paris the next morning. Military jets move faster than sound, and satellites, they circle the Earth 16 times a day. But rewind just a little over 100 years, and none of this existed. No air travel, no jets, no flight. It sounds impossible now. But not too long ago, the idea of a flying machine was laughed at, and then two quiet brothers walked into the wind and changed everything. Flight is one of humanity's oldest obsessions. For thousands of years, we watched birds and dreamed. In ancient China, people tied themselves to kites. In Greece, there was the legend of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun. Even Leonardo da Vinci drew flying machines, but none could leave the ground. It wasn't a lack of will, it was a lack of understanding. They didn't have the science. And those who tried often failed. Gliders crashed, balloons burst, many were hurt, some even died. By the late 1800s, most scientists believed powered flight was impossible. But not everyone gave up. The Wrights began building gliders. They tested them at a windy beach called Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. Why Kitty Hawk? It had strong winds and soft sand to crash into. Because crash, they did. A lot. But each crash taught them something. They didn't trust old theories, so they built their own wind tunnel. They tested over 200 different wing shapes, and what they discovered shocked the world later. Much of what people thought they knew about flight was wrong. They studied lift, drag, and balance. They figured out how to steer a plane, not with a wheel, but by twisting the wings. They called it wing warping. It was revolutionary.
December 17, 1903, a freezing morning in Kitty Hawk. The brothers dragged out their machine, a wooden biplane with fabric wings. They called it the Wright Flyer. Wilbur tried first and failed. But they weren't discouraged. Orville took the controls next. The engine roared, the propellers spun, and suddenly the Wright Flyer lifted off. Not high, not far. Just 12 seconds, 120 feet. But enough to prove it. Flight was possible. They flew 3 more times that day. The last flight? Nearly 60 seconds. They had done it. And yet, when they returned home, no one believed them. Newspapers ignored the story. The U.S. Army didn't care. Some called it a hoax. But history was already changing. Over the next 2 years, the Wright brothers perfected their plane. They added better engines, controls, and balance systems. Then, in 1908, they showed the world. In France and the U.S., they flew in public for minutes, for miles, turning, climbing, gliding. Suddenly, the world believed. By 1910, aircraft races drew thousands. Pilots became heroes. Airplanes became real. And the age of flight began. Within a decade, airplanes were used in war. Scouts, bombers, fighters. By the 1920s, airlines carried mail, then passengers. By the 1940s, the skies were full, from DC-3s to massive bombers in World War II. Then came jets, airports, supersonic flight. And in 1969, just 66 years after the Wright Flyer, humans stood on the moon. From 12 seconds on sand to 238,000 miles into space. All because 2 brothers believed, not just in flight, but in the power of relentless experiment. The Wrights didn't just invent the airplane. They pioneered a way to solve problems. Test, fail, learn, repeat. Their notebooks are studied even today. NASA engineers cite their wind tunnel designs. Their principles still guide modern aircraft and spacecraft. They were more than inventors. They were visionaries. Proof that big ideas can come from small shops. Today, flight connects us. It powers economies. It saves lives. It makes the world smaller. And yet, the dream continues. We now talk of electric planes, flying taxis, and Mars missions. We fly drones from our phones. We book trips to space. And every bit of that future traces back to two men in a bike shop with no budget and an idea that refused to crash.
They didn't just invent the airplane. They invented the idea that ordinary people with enough passion can change the world.